Miss Melissa, Miss Mel,
Oh,
the body witch.
yeah.
Hello, and if you are one of my listeners or a podcast listeners, this is Mel,
Hi,
the
everyone.
body witch.
Hi, everyone. I am
Hi, everybody.
so excited. This is amazing. And I don't know if my followers get to see this too.
I think so. I don't know. We've never done this before, listeners. If you do not see this live, it will be in my podcast feed, I think, in my lives folder or like section of YouTube in
I
my like little channel thing, from
so
what I understand.
is
So,
is it okay, Lisa? Because because I think it's
you know,
so
I'm going to say yes.
yes. Well, I don't know if you would say yes because I'm not the one with the gift of predetermination or like pre
Ooh,
like you have the psychic.
precognitive. Well, we
Yes.
all do, I think so.
Yeah. That's the part that I really want to talk to you about because I think it's so freaking cool that not only you've developed those psychic abilities, but that you truly believe that everybody else can
I
too.
do. I really do. Yeah. 100%.
Can
And I
you?
could I couldn't do this stuff. Like, a lot of the people who come on our podcast, like, they are born that way, they say. They were always different. And I was different, but I don't think I was a psychic kid. I wouldn't call myself, like, I was a psychic kid. I didn't have, prophetic dreams. I would dream about, like I remember, like, I've used this as an example in my podcast. I had a dream about a hose, like a fire hose, or not fire hose, just a water hose on the ground a certain way with water dripping out of it. And then, like, the next day I saw that and I remember dreaming about it. And that was really weird, but it wasn't anything significant, you know?
Right.
And my old co host on the podcast, Misty, and I had talked about that, how, like, she did have experiences as a kid, but she kind of shut hers down. But
Mhm.
I didn't really have any that I remembered. No one ever told me not to be weird, so I was just weird, and I played by myself a lot. Now, kids thought I was weird, but I didn't care. I usually had a good imagination. I didn't have a hard time, like, having 1 or 2 like, I had a best friend named
Right.
Diane Nettie. She's out there somewhere. She gets in touch with me sometimes, and she sends me videos of drones over her land right now in the sky at night.
Ew, that's so
Or
scary.
something. There's something in the sky above her house at night, and she sends me these videos, and I'm like, "Whoa." Some of them I think they're planes, though, but some of them are not. They are not planes, and that's very cool, and I'm trying to get her to come on the podcast to talk about it, but I haven't talked to her in a
Well,
while.
we do need to. I want to hear that podcast, but I'm really fascinated by what you're saying because often when people hear the language used, like psychic,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like drama, theater attached. And what I love is that
Yes.
you're so practical and grounded. And you're like, yeah, like I didn't have like crazy shit happen as a kid, but I had like weird stuff that I was like, well,
I
that's weird.
did when I was a young adult, I definitely did. It's just when I hit puberty, weird stuff happened, but I wanted it to. I was looking for it. Honest to God, I
Oh,
was. But it
oh,
wasn't, and I was, I know I was looking for it, but I was. Because, like, in middle school, we had kind of delved into that a little bit, and in high school, my friends kinda ditched me. And I had no
yeah.
friends for, like, a few months until I made friends. My friend Kyla made me as a friend, and I was like, "She's still my friend." It's, like, the only friend I still have from high school, I think, really.
Kyla.
I do have, yeah, a high school friend. She was my high school best friend, and we're still friends, so um, her name's Kyla, and she lives in Colorado. We have very different lives, though. She is a pediatric endocrinologist. But
Good
she's my
for
friend,
Kyla. Yay,
and
thank
she's
you.
psychic, whether she likes it or not. She probably knows it.
Right.
She
And
knows everything.
that's what I'm really interested in is that like what does it mean to be psychic to you as someone who has had these experiences and now does this work? What is it how does that show up for you in a way that other people can access that isn't necessarily like the theatrical really spooky stuff
Yeah,
people associate and that could
yeah.
block from what is it like for you?
Well, for me personally, it's really just the way my life is when I put my authentic self up front and center and I walk with my heart guiding me. It'll
Mm,
take me where I need to go, but that's kind of like a poetic answer, I guess. I wanna say more so, it's about every one of us has this. We have, like, a physical system, electrical system in our, nervous system. We have an endocrine system, our chemical system, and I think we have an energetic system.
Mhm.
I don't think being psychic is a gift, I think it's a skill, which is
Mm,
a gift. It's a
mhm.
gift, a skill if you want, it can be either one. A
Mhm.
skill is a gift if you're good at it, right?
Mhm.
They call it
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
that's all it is. I don't think it's like I do think it's spiritual because we call that spiritual. That's the only reason. I
Right.
think it's just because
Right.
people call it spiritual because we don't know what else it is. No one's ever really big time. I mean, they did maybe in other I believe there are, other times in Earth's history when people have been or humans of some sort have been doing well other than the last, 5,000 years of Earth's history. It seems like something happened. A lot of people agree about that, that we had we have a lot of stuff under the water that we're finding now that proves this. We found, we think, Lemuria. They say that
Oh, yeah.
anyway on the
Heard
articles I've read.
heard that.
Yeah.
And
And
that's the stuff that sometimes comes into the conversation where I'm like, but if I
I
don't know.
love how to explain that, though. I wanna explain what
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is. So,
please,
I
please.
love doing that. So,
Yeah.
Lemuria is part of the ancient history of Earth that some people believe in, and this is the kind of stuff I love to tell people about. I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like it's something fascinating that resonates, and to me, the word resonates is like, "Oh, that makes sense." You know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's a fancy word for that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does, it has to make sense to you. If it doesn't, then don't believe it, it's kind of, or don't, necessarily just buy into it, I would say. Look for if like, people tell me I'm a star seed, but I don't know.
You're like, cool.
I've never had that moment, that
Right.
people talk about, and they told me about their moments, other star seeds, and I haven't had that kind of thing happen.
Hmm.
And, but Lemuria is a land that supposedly was seeded by the Galactic Republic aliens, or they don't like to be called aliens, I guess. They like to be called extraterrestrials. I always hear that in my head when I say it, like, this happened to other readers reading for
Mm.
me. They're around me. They are guides. And now this is weirdo stuff for some people. This is getting on the floaty stuff. So we'll stay away from the floaty stuff. The reason I was telling you about Lemuria is because it was like a big myth, and I had read there's tarot decks with it, there's oracle
Right.
decks, and Lemurians were supposed to be this advanced race and of humans and other aliens who all lived in Lemuria, and Earth was like one big continent or something. They say sometimes it was one big continent, sometimes it was like two big continents or something like that, and that's when supposedly, the floods came. Now we have a lot of flood stories in all of history, and no one really knows when they happened. Or the big flood is the main one. We don't know what the big flood is. We have a lot of people in like the Bible will say it's Noah's Ark. That's the flood. Um, and all kinds of stories all throughout indigenous populations in like Siberia, everywhere all over the globe. We have the flood at the same kind of around the same time period. It's
Yep.
about 100,000 years ago, was it 10,000 or 100,000? I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't got that in my head right now.
I
But
think I had to guess. I think it's like closer to 10, I think. Or but the
I
Bible
think
is
you're right, I think you're right.
that old. Is I
Well,
have
they
to.
think that I have read that some people believe the more metaphysical slash scientistic, I like that word, scientistic. As a
Let me
metaphysician who's a
trademark that.
scientific. Ah, they've said they think that the pyramids are 200,000 years old. Like, that they were that's a long time ago for what we think of, but I think even way farther back than then, people have been here. You
Could be.
know,
I
we
don't
had
see.
time period on the Earth when we had giant bugs. I mean, that's insane. Why couldn't we have
Yeah.
had people?
That that was the time period when oxygen was
Yes.
the like way what we would now consider out of balance in a way that wouldn't have allowed humanity to thrive. And this is what I love when talking to you is that you can so wonderfully embody the floaty stuff, to quote you, because you were like, don't stay away from the floaty stuff, which I feel safer in the presence of someone because I'm a super scientific minded witch. So
You
like
are.
I want all like and I live in the mystical realms all the time. And so it's
I
wonderful
do.
to meet somebody who's like, don't be afraid of the floaty stuff. Go ahead and take a dip a toe, but it may not resonate for you because it may not be your truth, and that's okay. And I love how light you are with it. Like,
Yeah, why would I want someone to do something they didn't feel authentic about? And not everyone in the world wants to take their spirituality and put it on a podcast. Not everybody wants to take their spirituality and work with it,
right.
and I do. I do like working with it. So, and I like helping people with what like I said, I think they're skills,
Yeah.
but there is a spiritual aspect because I don't remember mediumship and stuff like that. And some readings I don't remember, and other people who've come on our podcast have said stuff like, well, I don't remember my readings either, and some people say that that's just because we, like, step out or we do this or we don't. I always thought when I was younger and I hadn't talked to any other psychics that it was kinda like protection for my clients, and that's what I
Mm-hmm.
would tell them, like, "You're protected because I don't remember it." But I really didn't know what
Mm.
the real answer was, if there was one. I just didn't remember
Right.
them, but so many people have said that they don't remember them, and they're like, "Yeah, I guess that is kinda their protection." When I said that or if they hadn't thought of that anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know? But it's
Yeah.
frustrating because it must be frustrating for the clients because I don't always remember what I've told them, but, they say they don't mind most of the time, so
I that resonates for me in terms of like identifying the parts of my operation, modus operandi, that I would consider psychic, and or where that language could be applicable. And I often feel that when even what I call mundane work, like personal training work, which isn't, you're working
that's
with
not
somebody,
mundane,
it's
that's
never
like
mundane, you know?
no, that is huge, I wish I could do I'm getting healthier, Mel. I'm
Yeah,
getting healthier,
which
and I can do stuff what you're talking about, what you've told me about with the body work and stuff. Soon I'll be able to do that stuff, I hope.
and
Hope I
that is how I feel about what you were just saying, where like there are so many moments where, you go to all the seminars, and I have hours and hours and hours of accumulated education and then practice. And there are so many times where I find that if I, especially if I'm teaching in a group, that I feel like I empty out, like my
Yeah.
ego steps aside.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then like,
emptying out. It is like
yeah,
it feels good afterwards, right?
still people, I don't have class plans, I don't always remember what we've
Yeah.
done. um I will gather information and weave it in, and I wonder sometimes if like that's what we call, I will even call it intuition, like stepping out of the way so the downloads can come through. But I'm like, what if, and this is where I feel like I'm invoking Lisa, what if that's not special but a skill set that many
Yeah.
people have, that can others can also learn, the way everyone can learn to draw. You may not be the next great
Mm,
artist, but we can
yeah. There's a
draw.
lot of great artists, aren't there? I mean,
Right,
just having the internet proves that we have a million great artists in every kind of form of
right.
art there is. Everyone is, like, so talented, it seems like once the internet happened.
Well,
Like, all of a sudden, everybody's talented. That's because
and
they
it
show their
like
stuff?
for expression and platforms, and that's what this is making me think of, and why I wanted to talk up to you and to have people who are more on my channel have this exposure to your work, because we are on my channel and all the work I do, even in witchcraft, there's always this grounded component that I like to bring in, where everything can be as much as possible according to current scientific standard, somewhat explainable. And then I like to have this spot, oh no, I lost you. Did I lost Lisa. Got, oh, we're back again.
Sorry,
Yay!
I didn't mean to disappear. I didn't mean to disappear.
It's all good. It's all good. I like that
I
view of,
think I got you frozen now. Can you flip your camera? Do you mind flipping your camera? We figured
not
out that made
all.
us
You're gonna see a stand
that's like an abstract. That's an
that
abstract. You're beautiful. There you are. I liked you frozen too, though. It was cute. You
I
were
would
you were like talking but frozen.
that sound at all unlike me. And that's what I was saying when you kind of disappeared for a second, was there's your work and your podcast, I think, makes what so many people consider to be silly, taboo, fake, dumb, whatever, scary, evil,
Yeah.
the devil, which I'm like, guys, really, how many years we got to do the devil thing? Like, you got to really examine that. But that's okay. That's another podcast. But
Like
like,
bunny ear. Eventually, they're gonna turn bunny ears into devil horns. Yeah, there you do that good. Yeah, you do that really well.
yes, as a death
That's
witch,
sweet.
I
She's
and
all
that,
about that. She's getting it on. Look at you go! Look at you go! I love it. I'm
I
taking you to the next metal show I go to.
oh my god, don't talk to me about heavy metal like that, like without
Oh,
overlaying.
girl.
Like you okay, digression for the people who are going to be in on this. A client of mine let me know that on Monday, Slipknot had released the 25th anniversary of their very first album,
Really?
and, and it's great.
I'm not a big Slipknot fan. I have like I do like some of their stuff, but I'm not a huge Slipknot fan. But now metal, I'm kind of picky about what I do like. But I do like some, but any metal live, I will enjoy. Is it not true? Like metal live is always good. I guess unless you just really hate it. But I love live metal. I just like to
There is
like
some.
cheer it and that drum, that double kick, and
Well, I think that's the thing. We're gonna have to. We all have to draw the lines on where the metal is. Like
True,
I don't
true.
want hair metal live, and I don't want to do like Christian metal. To me, is the truest evil. Like if I could really evil in the world, I'd be like Christian metal, and come for like whatever. Like, but like,
I love that. That's hilarious.
but
That is
like,
the evil genre.
hands down, that's the most evil. But like, if
Hands
I
down.
pick, and I'm glad that everybody's like in on this one for now, is if I had to pick like live metal, I mean, there's so much stuff I've seen, but if I could revisit a fantasy, it would be probably Tool.
Oh, really? I can't stand that band either. I'm so sorry. Everybody hates me for saying that. Everybody I know you're gonna kill me, Mel. Everybody hates me
No,
for
I'm
saying I
just
don't like
dying
Tool.
dramatically for a very long time.
I'm sorry, it's okay. You'll live, you'll come back. You won't die. You won't die, you'll live.
I
Everybody makes it through when I say I don't like Tool. I believe in you. I have faith. Come back to me, Mel. Oh no, Mel, don't go over the bug. Don't go to that side. See the light? Not that light. This light. This
you
light. Over here. Over
you
here.
pushed me into the borderland with that
Oh
with
shit.
that response.
Okay, I love Tool. I said that just for you.
Thank
And it's on the internet. I love Tool just for you, Mel. That's
you.
how much I love you. I will say I love Tool for you.
Wow, that does feel deep. But remember, folks, what we said: if it's not real for you, you don't have to believe in it.
I
So
love a perfect circle. Let's put that out there. I love a
saw
perfect
that
circle.
too.
I will put that. I do love that band, and it's kind of something. Well, I will do the
No,
same
I.
thing.
What's one of your go-to metal? What do you love to hear?
I like older metal, like from the '70s and stuff,
Okay.
like Deep Purple,
Yeah.
or like I like
Yeah.
old Van Halen stuff, and I mean I've always liked the I can't think of songs, but I'm not thinking of bands. Like there's one. Well, shoot, I mean I'm thinking of a song, but I'm not thinking of the band. I'm not thinking of I'm thinking of individual songs, but I'm not thinking of the bands, but I like Ozzy and I like, it's not stuff I go around listening to anymore, this is more like high school stuff. But if I had a chance to go see them, I would have,
Mhm.
but I used to be really afraid of going to large venues and stuff as an empath because it was too much. So and then by then, those
Yeah.
bands, I mean, anytime those bands came around, they were huge. I did my first concert was Bon Jovi and Skid Row in
Wow.
7th grade. Yeah. And it was
That
awesome. Bon Jovi looked at me. He did. He went up on the catwalk and looked at me, right me in
were
there.
you like instantly impregnated, or
I
were you?
was. But he wasn't I was after Richie Sambora, actually. I had a crush on Richie
That makes
Sambora.
sense. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I
I
get
like
that.
I like his harmonies and his guitar, I'm a so
Guitar. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say,
I
yeah.
wasn't then though, but I turned into one. What's
This
your go-to metal other than Slipknot and, Tool?
corn,
Okay.
corn, mud Pantera. I
I
also
like
love a lot
Pantera.
of metal and Norwegian metal. Um, I also like doom metal. Folks, this has turned into a really interesting
A
conversation.
friend
And
is in a Norwegian metal band called Accept. I have a friend in that band, if you like that metal band. I don't
I'm,
know. I've only listened to, like, his clips and stuff,
I'm gonna
but they
look
are
them on Spotify, but I'm seeing that I've
I
come
think
to the
they're
end of
Swedish.
my time on this live. Like I'm now like, oh shit, I gotta run. I have to pee before my next client, if that's okay to say.
Yeah, so we'll let you go, Mel. And thank you so much for coming on here and saying what up with me. And we will do this again sometime, I hope.
A
And
hundred.
y'all go check her out. She's wonderful and she is just the best and
Well,
very good friend.
I would like my people to check you out, and I would like to do a deeper dive with your expertise on talking to you about how to access psychic work for the regular folks who might be afraid, because I don't want anyone to be afraid, and and anyone who sees you is going to see how full of light and kindness and joy and real true heart you have. That's so obvious, and that to me is the kind of person I would love to highlight on a platform I have, to be like, just listen. Like you don't even have to, like, we're not trying to sell you anything. That's the best part. We're not even trying to
No, not, yeah.
relax. We're just trying to have a conversation. So
Yeah.
again soon then.
Trying to get you to be happier because that made me happier embracing the psychic side. But it just did because it was there anyway, and I knew it was. I knew it was something, but I didn't know what it was, and finding out, I found out by myself, but I wish someone had explained it to me. I
Exactly. So
wish. That's why I did the podcast.
well, we have another conversation to have. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
beautiful
Mel. You have a
space.
good time on the toilet and have a good time with your client. As
I'll
always, I do too.
pee and then I'll run to the bye everybody. Bye Lisa. Bye
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
And thank you so much if you check this out and a million times. Go check out the last podcast I did with Matt Awesome. You will love it. And I guess I'll figure out how to end this first of all. Oh, look who was here the whole time, watchers. It was Gandalf. Oh, he's okay. He's okay. I don't know how. Say goodbye again. Goodbye again.